M3GAN 2.0 is the brand new film from Universal that just hit theaters on June the 27th, 2025. While the first film came out in 2022, this film in story takes place 2 years after the events of the first film during M3GAN's rampage. We catch up with the lead character of the last film, Gemma, who's played by Allison Williams. After what she experienced after creating M3GAN, she's trying to be someone not pro AI, but someone who wants to be pro humans and AI working together to avoid dangerous AI situations. But she's brought back into the rabbit hole as a variant, not a variant, but an AI gone wrong of Amelia, who's played by Ivana Sakno, is off, and the U.S. government cannot control her anymore. So they bring in Gemma, hopefully, to fix the problem. Back from the first one as well is Gemma's niece, Katie, played by Violet McGraw. Jenna Davis and Annie Donald combined to play M3GAN. You also have Brian Jordan Alvarez as Cole and Jen Van Epps returning as Tess to try to help as well. The film is 2 hours long and is PG-13. My name is Max Greenberg. Welcome back to Max Talks Movies. If you're new to the channel, guys, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do movie, TV show reviews, out theater reactions, box office breakdown shows, movie franchise rankings. So please, if you're new, hit that subscribe button and ring the bells and notify when my new videos dropping on the channel. Comment down below. First of all, have you seen M3GAN 2.0? Do you like it more than the first one, or do you want a third one? Let me know. If you haven't seen it, tell me, are you a fan of this franchise, or are you more of a fan of seeing this at the comfort of your home? Let me know down in the comments. And also, guys, please hit the thumbs up. So I was someone who was I really did enjoy the first M3GAN film. It's not like one of my favorite movies or anything, but it's a movie that I've seen 3 times, have liked it every single time. It's definitely dumb. It's definitely can be very cringe or over the top. But for me, the comedy they went for in the first film worked for me. So I have a very good time with M3GAN. So I was excited for M3GAN 2 because they set that up towards the end of the first film. And now, again, the main difference from a creative perspective is that while James Wan did have story credits on the first M3GAN, he does not have story credits here. Akilah Cooper and Gerald Johnston, who also directed the film, who directed the first film, is back. And Akilah Cooper is also back to write the screenplay. She also wrote the screenplay for *Malignant* for James Wan. But Wan's just here as a producer, not as a screenplay or story credit. So that was the only major difference. But I was very excited. I liked the trailers. And overall, I think this is a harmless, fun time at the theater. If you're someone who was not a fan of the first M3GAN, I think you're really not going to like this one, because the first film was completely a horror comedy. Yes, it has very over-the-top M3GAN singing at points and very much comedic, but they go for a lot of horror tendencies, a lot of jump scares. M3GAN's killing kids in the movie. It is quite horrifying at times. Now, this movie is what Terminator 2, I guess, is for the first Terminator, where the first Terminator is a straight up horror film, and then Terminator 2 is a action film. This one, the first one is a horror comedy. This one is a straight up action comedy that feels like a combination of Terminator 2 and Upgrade. And I think that makes this still very enjoyable. Myself and the entire theater, we were pretty much laughing throughout the entire film. The film is very, very funny. And a lot of it comes from M3GAN herself. When she becomes a factor in the movie, she's cursing a lot. She's saying a lot of zingers, as they say, the one-liners. They are quite funny. And M3GAN herself is such an entertaining character. Even when the movie around her isn't the greatest, you can still get enough fun out of her and the character herself. The movie does move also quite well. The first 2 acts are a breeze. They're a lot of fun, high action, and the action themselves are great because, again, we have another AI in the movie. So when we get the M3GAN versus Amelia fight, it is really well done. The choreography is still really cool for this character because, yes, it's an AI robot, but they have actual human actresses playing both AIs. So something still feels artificial but real. And that's what gives this franchise some spark to it. Instead of just feeling like a CGI character as a robot, it's a real person, performing the acts that the robots are doing. Gives this movie a nice flair to it. It also does feel like a bigger, the stakes are much higher than the first film, because the first one was very much just focused on the family and protecting Katie and what got in the way of that. This film, it's like the world is on the line. And they make this a more global film than just a center focused on this family movie. So I like that the stakes were higher. The movie was a lot of fun to watch. Honestly, it's a breeze to watch. I would watch this a lot more times than other movies I've seen, definitely for sure this year. Now, on a negative note, I do think them not going a little bit of some horror in this movie was a negative. Sometimes they hint that they want to do some horror things, but then they kind of just make it into a joke instead of continuing and making any scene creepy. I do think the M3GAN character in the AI version, the new AI Amelia, can be quite off-putting, but the movie doesn't really make you feel like any of this is off-putting for the most part. I do think if they make another film, I'm all cool with still having a lot of action, a lot of comedy. I just want a horror, kind of that horror element just brought back, not in like the main focus, make it a straight up horror movie. But I think that was missing because there wasn't really any tension in this movie. There was a lot of tension in the first film, so I wish they would go back to that. And I will say the characters are a lot more stupid in this film. Katie was a center focus of the first one because M3GAN's, her programming is to protect Katie. Katie just feels like a throwaway character a lot of part in this one. It's really more about Gemma, who's played by Allison Williams. And I love Allison Williams, but her character is really unbearable to watch in a lot of this film because every time a character has an opinion or a plan, she absolutely disagrees with it and goes into like a whole-on rant about why they're playing wrong. If Katie has a plan, she's wrong. If M3GAN has a plan, she's wrong. If any member of her team has a plan or idea, she thinks they're wrong. She is very obnoxious and annoying in this movie. And it's not the actor at all, because as I said, Get Out is one of my favorite movies of all time. She plays easily one of the best performances in that movie. Won her to get an Oscar nomination. She's so great in that movie. I've seen her be really great in other things, and she's fine here. It's not her. The character is so annoying and unlikable throughout the entire film. And because they put Katie a lot of the times on the sidelines in this movie, she really is the lead character with M3GAN. And her relationship with M3GAN is the center focus of the story. And I just did not like Gemma whatsoever in this movie. And I hope they make her a little bit less uptight if the franchise continues on. And again, characters do just make some really stupid decisions. And the third act, I was actually pretty underwhelmed by the third act. The first two acts were great. The third act just didn't like the direction they were totally going in. And I felt like the movie came to a halt pacing wise in the third act. But overall, I still had a good enough time with M3GAN 2.0. I don't think it's as good as the first M3GAN, but I will say for some harmless action comedy, this one works for me. It's a breeze. I like the characters. I like this franchise. So I'm going to give M3GAN 2.0 a 3.5 out of 5, a 65%. What are your thoughts on M3GAN 2.0? Let me know down in the comments section. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.